was for the next step of helping others go through the process as well. So this self help becomes selfish. And it's like, this wasn't where you were supposed to stay. You're now going backwards. You're now lacking the self awareness to be like, oh, what I just learned here, I need to apply it to the community. So I agree that there is a problem in this self help movement, but I think the problem is that people just aren't going to the next step. They're just stopping here.
Makes a lot of sense. Hey, so you should have commented that on the LinkedIn post. Hey, that's fire. So then it all, I swear, everything be boiling down to selfishness, ego, and pride. Low key. I I didn't even think about it like that, where it's more of a process where self awareness, self help,
Hmm.
and then help others.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you
Okay.
just run other people through that cycle.
Huh. And in that cycle, everybody's getting what they need.
Exactly.
And honestly, like you flipped it on its head when you said people get stuck and then they start to go backwards. And I was
Yes.
like, wait, how do they go backwards? And he was like, because they're lacking the self awareness that others
Need help.
don't know everything that. I was like, come on, it's a process. Okay, dang, bro. Yeah, that's good. That is good. And then actually, once you get to that point of self awareness and self help, and you're helping others, that's moving from lack of peace, because there's peace in having self awareness in a way, because there's just an element of certainty, and as humans, we love some certainty. We love to be like, yes, that is that, and then you move to self help, and then you find some joy there once you separate the foolishness and the negativity. It can either be a decision or a destination, what have you, but you're getting the help you need to for joy to manifest, ideally. So then you go from individual joy to communal joy, where you're helping somebody else find their joy. So then once
Yes.
everybody's at peace, once everybody got the joy, then we can start solving, you know, issues and stuff.
Everything. Everything.
Wow. Wow. I'm gonna let that marinate. Hmm. So with that being said on the communal joy part, I see I see joy as an element of a generational wealth, which is something it seems kind of counterintuitive because it's like, well, generational wealth just always seems like money, property, material things that I pass down because I built it up and I'm going to give it to my kids and grandkids. That's something not be all though. I think there's something fundamental about we hear about generational trauma. We hear about that, but what about like generational joy? It has nothing to do with material objects, but just like teaching your kids how to love, how to share, how to help others. Like that's a generational wealth that no amount of houses, cars, trust fund amounts, the more we teach, the more we learn how to love and how to like strip back the layers of what we thought love was because of TVs and movies and music and Valentine's Day cards. Like when you can pass that down, and that's one thing I can honestly say that I'm thankful for my parents of teaching myself and my sister. Like they taught us how to love each other, like as brother and sister, and we're 5.5 years apart. And like you would have, I guess, conventional patterns, you would think a brother and sister with that age gap, you like you wouldn't really think that they're on one accord, but like we're basically twins, just 5.5 years apart. Like we
Wow.
are tied at the hip, and that's because our parents taught us how to love each other and take care of each other, protect each other. So like that's generational wealth right there. Because everything they taught me, they taught us, we carry that wherever we go. And it's not just generations of like bloodline generation, but also like people within my age cohort, like people within my like, yeah, just like my people that I interact with, who also the same age as me. When I can be a positive light in that I'm showing love to friends, I'm showing love to strangers, then that's a ripple effect there.
Who's older, you or your sister?
So I'm the oldest, and I know you have sisters.
Yeah, I got three sisters and a brother, and I'm the middle child.
Well, there you go. The siblings in the house. Wow. So what is yeah? What's your take on that element of or that dimension of generational wealth?
I think we've just begun to come to the space and time where we can afford that. Like it was about survival for so long, and I feel like we're on the cusp of recognizing that we need to pass down more than the material. And this it's like our generation is the turning point because half of us had a great set of parents that taught us love, patience, forgiveness, all these good values, and then half of us did not. But those excuse me, those who did not are growing up within this climate of mental health importance growing and self-awareness growing. And so it's like it's up to them to change that pattern and to begin to translate that generational joy. But at the same time, some of it feels fabricated, and that's concerning. But I think that's mostly to do with like how things are portrayed in social media. Um, and like the things that are going viral, it's like, oh, affirmations, father telling daughter he loves her. And it's like, this is really cute. But when the camera is not going, is this also happening? It's like how much of this happens outside of the Instagram post, how much of this happens with no one watching. It's hard to tell right now, but I think we'll see the fruits of it in the next generation.
Yeah. And you mentioned fabrication and then social media, and I was like, yeah, it's real easy to fabricate a lot of things through a camera lens. And like we are the social media age. Like first it was the technology age, which I really think started in like the 80s, like where technology like video games, like internet and that stuff